Hello, hello. Welcome to the grand finale of my latest quilt titled Genevieve. Also, this video is sponsored by the Estelle Center for Creative Arts, a retreat center in La Vida, Colorado. Not only are they sponsoring this video, but they have invited me to teach there next summer. My Faces and Figures workshop is now open for registration, and I'll put the link here for you for easy access to registration or just to learn more. If you watched last week's video, you know this is where I left off. And next, I wanted to add something underneath to give her some legs. I just grabbed these blocks. They were just scrap blocks and stuck them under there for height. So the next thing I did was play around with that same height and thinking, how could I create these legs? So this was the simplest form. I really didn't think I was going to stick with it, but I did. And then I needed to decide what fabric to use for her shoes. I have one solid black and one print. That print is also found in the rest of the quilt, and I thought that would be the winner, but when I looked at it, sat with it, looked at it through my camera, I decided to go with the black. Here is what I created for that bottom row, and I'm using this paper just to gauge the size of her shoes. I don't typically do this, but I have very little black fabric, and I needed to make sure that what I was doing wasn't wasting fabric in this case. So I'm making a little template. And here I am cutting it using the improvisational method. So there is no seam allowance. I'm placing the convex curve on top so that it's easy to adjust to the bottom black shoe. And you'll see me using my fingers here where I would normally place a pin. That's my secret finger pinning method that you may have seen me use before. Pinning is great, but some of us just want to skip that part. Well, when we can anyway. Not too bad. Give it a little press. And of course, here's the unevenness because there was no seam allowance. We always have to trim that to even it up later. I repeated that, and I have both shoes on now. And now I am going to add this striped fabric, a strip of striped fabric at the bottom. So she has something to stand on with those fancy black shoes. Okay, now she's got legs, she's got some ground to stand on, and now I have to figure out what is next. So I decide to add the ground fabric all around the whole entire piece. And next, I had this idea to create a piece of jewelry for her, much like the piece on my ennobled quilt. It's actually three-dimensional. I think I'm going to do the same thing with this gal. Okay, so far so good. She has her jewelry. And so I decide to take her apart, and as I'm taking her apart so I can sew her back together, I take that piece of jewelry and stick it to the side. And when I stuck it to the side, it looked like an earring on the other face. And that could be the start of the next quilt. You just simply never know where the next idea is going to come from. If you have watched previous videos, you know I don't usually hide my mistakes. So what you're seeing here is the seam ripper in action. I ended up having to take out a seam and re-stitch that seam because it was pulling on the edge of the quilt, and I'm not exactly sure if I can even explain how or why it happened, but it happened, and it will probably happen to you as well. So when you have to get your seam ripper out, don't worry, don't get mad. Just remember you're in good company. Just have a good seam ripper. I actually have two. Actually, I think I have three. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. But yes, I had to rip out the whole side of her skirt and the side of her torso. Okay, she is on the long arm machine, and here we go. You may or may not have heard me say I am new to long arming, and yes, there is a major learning curve. And basically, I just doodle on top of my quilts because I have not taken the time to learn how to do all of the patterns and whatnot. So yeah, don't um, don't take lessons from me on how to long arm. I just kind of make it up as I go. And for me, that's fun. If I had to plan it out, it wouldn't be fun. So, do it, you do you, like they say, and I'll do me. So I started long arming in 2024, and I think this is my 12th quilt that I've done. So yeah. Oh, I know what else I should tell you. She has a name, as you probably noticed at the beginning. Her name is Genevieve, and I am notoriously a terrible namer. And I just thought, I don't know what I'm going to name. First I thought they were going to be a couple, and I had all kinds of things jumping through my head, but I woke up this morning and was sitting drinking my coffee and thinking about this quilt, and Genevieve popped in my head. So I looked up Genevieve. It's amazing what you can find on the internet. I like this. People think this name is classic, mature, formal, upper class, natural, wholesome, refined, strange, complex, and serious. I thought strange, complex, and serious kind of fit. Then I found this. I liked woman of the people. Strength, compassion, resilience. I like all that. And then I found this and I really like this. Now, I don't know anything about numerology. I like that she resonates with the number 7, and that represents introspection, spiritual awakening, and a deep connection to wisdom. And then I thought about that eyeball jewelry that I made for her, and I thought, this all fits. So fun. This is cool. I like how this all unfolds. It's just, to me, this is like magic. How about if I play a few tunes while you watch me long arm? If you don't like the music, you know what to do. Don't forget to check out the Estelle Center for Creative Arts. I'll leave you a link here. And once again, I want to thank you for watching, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and I'll see you next week.